be breaking down how to use rhythm striking. Now, for those of you guys that don't know what rhythm striking is, rhythm striking is basically the pace at which the fight is going. Normally, what you guys are going to see before I jump into quick fight real quick, or this offline quick fight, you guys see rhythm striking in every single fight that you do against another human. The computer is a different subject. You know, we're not going to get into that, but it's usually the way that you're going to see rhythm striking is you're going to start off a fight, you're going to go, and then your opponent's going to go, you're going to go, then your opponent's going to go. And that creates a rhythm every single fight. That's just how it's going to go. Now, how you're able to process the rhythm striking and pick up on it is really going to determine who is going to have more success throughout the fight. And that's where a lot of you guys kind of get caught up. You guys might not understand what's going on. But if you're able to pick up on that quickly and understand not only the rhythm at which you're fighting at, but how to break it, how to use a broken rhythm, and when to use a broken rhythm, can really determine whether you win or lose fights, not only amongst lower level players, but against high level players as well. So that's what we're going to be breaking down. So let me go ahead and select some boxers here. We're going to be playing up against the computer, but just for a second, and then we'll jump in an online fight and I'll show you guys exactly how it looks against a live action person online. So for this one, I don't like using heavyweight, so we're not going to do that. I'm gonna use Sugar Ray Leonard, not in middleweight though. I'm gonna use him right here. Who just subbed up? Yo, shout out to you, Ignacy. Thank you for the sub, bro. I appreciate it. So the way that I normally would tell you guys to practice this is go into quick fight and learn it against the computer. Kind of just get a good feel, or go against your opponents in online, or not against opponents, but like go against your friends, right? And just tell them, hey, I want to box, and then just go against them to kind of see exactly what I'm talking about. So here we'll use Bud because you guys are gonna see Bud a lot. Okay. I don't want music because I don't want. I think the Riyadh season gym doesn't have music in it. So let's go here. We'll set it up. I set this up the same way that I do practice mode. For those of you guys that watch my practice mode video, we do it the same way. So I hit X right here. All right, so let's hit pause. All right, so like I said, with rhythm striking, it's going to be, normally when you start off in a fight, I'm going to turn the game audio down a little bit so that way you guys can hear me a little bit more clear. But normally what you're going to see is you're going to walk in the middle and your opponent is going to go, right? You and your opponent kind of are just going to hold block normally. And you guys are going to start that filling out process. Now, the filling out process is important because you want to see what your opponent is going to do. And this is something that I do routinely in every single online fight that I do. I legit will sometimes just take the first round to not really worry too much about offense, but just to kind of see and establish a rhythm with my opponent. So normally what you're going to see is, you're going to take a turn. Then your opponent's going to go like the computer did right there. I'm going to throw a strike. Then your opponent's either going to back up, retreat, and reset. But you want to pay attention to the way that the rhythm of the fight is going. Is your opponent walking forward? Are they playing on the back foot? When you throw a strike, are they trying to return in the middle of your combination, or are they kind of just waiting until you're done to try to launch offense of their own? And that's going to establish the rhythm and the pace of the fight. And it's really important that you know what you're looking at and you're able to take that first round to really pay attention, because if you don't, you're just kind of going to be bewildered the entire fight and your opponent is going to pick it up. And this is something that a lot of boxers, or not a lot of boxers, but every single professional boxer does in real life. They don't just come out immediately trying to throw bombs at each other. They try to set the pace of the fight against their opponents. And the more that they're able to do that, the easier of a fight it's going to be, and the more control over the fight they're going to have. So that's really what you're trying to do. You're trying to make your opponent fight at a pace that you're trying to fight at. Whether they're comfortable with it or they're not, it's immaterial. You want to fight at the pace that you want to fight at. You want to fight with the rhythm that you want to fight at, because the more that you fight at the rhythm that you want to fight at, the more control over the fight you're going to have. And that's really what you're shooting for, right? So if I come out and I throw a jab to the body and I see my opponent, like the computer just did right there, throws a strike, then I kind of can start to guess that my opponent is going to repeatedly do the same thing. And then I can start to establish the rhythm, right? I can throw a jab. I know he's going to return. So I look for the block. I look to block. Then I reestablish. And just get them kind of used to what you're doing. You want to get them used to the rhythm. Make them feel like they're comfortable with the pace at which you're fighting at. And then later on in the fight, you can kind of switch up the pace and the rhythm and kind of catch them off guard and make them have to be on their toes with making adjustments. You feel what I'm saying? Yo, Jalen, what's good, man? You can put it in streamer mode for no copyright? Nah, I've learned that doesn't work. So, but welcome to the live though, bro. I appreciate you. So the way that I do this, like I said, is in the first round, I'll kind of just take my time. I'll play on the back foot. Just kind of establish a rhythm that I know I'm not going to be fighting at the whole fight. I'll kind of just play off the back foot. I'll throw a strike. He returns. I'll back up, reset. Then we go again. Like right there. Set up a beautifully timed counter because I knew when I threw, the computer just responded to me, right? So I knew if I threw a body jab, he's going to come back with a hook, which most of the time you're going to see in online fights. And then I pulled, and then I back up, I reset, and kind of just reset everything, right? I go, he's going to respond. I'm going to go. If this was an actual human, he probably most of the time would respond because he thinks that I'm going to keep throwing strikes. And that's going to establish that rhythm. It really, really is. Now, why this is important to establish a rhythm is because you don't want an opponent that just wants to hold block all fight long. And the more comfortable you can get them, it's going to force them to throw offense. And that could be good for one of two reasons. Either A, you can set up a broken rhythm combination and catch them in vulnerability, or B, you can start to set up your counters. Those are the two reasons why rhythm striking are really, really important. Is a really, really important aspect to understand. Because those two things are what's going to win you fights. If you have an opponent that's legit just walking around holding block the entire fight, you're not going to be able to get anything done. And unfortunately, with the way that loose movement is, loose footwork is, a lot of people just want to be holding block, walking around, not doing anything. You'll see them do a lot of this. You know, they'll major step off to the side. They'll be pulling. You know, they'll do all this funky shit. And Undisputed actually is trying to combat that with what they implemented with the new block, because they've seen a lot of people were implementing that style of play, just walking around holding block. So that's why we got that new block animation. That's why we got that new block mechanic where if somebody's holding block all fight long and you're hitting the block, as the aggressor, the block starts to slow down. It starts to lower as you get later on in the fight. So right here, let's do it again. So let's break it down for you again. So if I go, I see he goes, then I go again. Normally against another opponent, you're going to see, against an actual human opponent, you're going to see an immediate response, because nobody likes to get hit. Nobody does. But just to get comfortable with it, I would highly recommend you practice it offline or practice it against your friends. Practicing against a friend or somebody that you game with is super important. It really, really is. because you're getting that human aspect of things. And it's going to help you see exactly what I'm talking about. Right? So here I throw. He came back with a jab. I throw a jab. He strikes. I throw another jab. He responds. So that's the perfect example right there of a rhythm. I'm going, he's going. I'm going, he's going. Right? That's the pace of a fight. Now see why I got caught by that rear hook right there is because he mixed up the timing. See, I caught him right there because I went when he wasn't expecting that I would go. Again, right there. Perfect example of how to use rhythm striking. Right? Yo, what's good, Pride Fighter? How you doing? But all right, before we go any further, all 33 of you guys that are in here, I appreciate you guys coming through. If you guys are new, make sure to slap that subscribe button as well as slap that like button. But do you guys have any questions on anything that I just broke down? I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to let me know. Because I don't want anybody to get confused. Because what we're about to talk about with the broken rhythm might be a little confusing if you don't understand exactly what I just talked about with the rhythm striking. So I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to type in here. Right now we're sitting at, it's 10:05 my time. So I'm going to give you guys till 10:07, 10:08 to ask any questions that you guys have. How do you do the sidestep? Bryson, what's good, man? Welcome to the live. So to sidestep, you're going to want to flick your left stick either up or down to kind of do the left to right sidestep, and back if you want to dash out like this. That's how you do it. Yo, what's good, Almighty? How you doing, man? Welcome to the live. We're trying to put some people up on game today, you know, trying to help everybody get better at the game. And if you guys want to weave, you're going to hold R1. Up or down, same thing. That's how you're going to weave. Weaving, I would highly suggest you guys be careful with using because of the fact that, you know, it doesn't, if you miss time a weave, you could potentially get hurt really bad. So just, you know, just be aware of that. All right, we got 1 minute left. So if you guys have any questions, I got y'all. And for those of you guys that are in the stream right now as well, I'm going to be posting this up as a video. So if you guys need to go back and re-listen to stuff that I broke down, it's going to be there for you guys. Right there. Heard him. All right. I'm just kind of beating the crap out of this Terrence Crawford. The computer Terrence Crawford.
2, 3, 4, 5. Come to me.
All right, so it doesn't look like we're having any questions on anything that I broke down. So we're gonna go. I'm gonna let this round pass, and then we're gonna go further in depth on using like a broken rhythm, and how that can really benefit you and be important in you winning or losing a fight, right? All right, so now that we have established what the rhythm of a fight is, right? Now we got a good feel for what our opponent is doing. We're now in the 4th round, and if this was a real fight, you know, you're gonna be expected to have made the reads and the adjustments by this round, right? So now that we've understood what rhythm striking is, how we go about setting it, and how we go about reading it, now we can start to implement a broken rhythm. Broken rhythm, all it is basically interrupting the normal pace of a fight. So, like I said, we go, they go, we go, they go. That is the rhythm of the fight. Now, the broken rhythm is going to be we go, we wait for them to go, for them to take their turn, because now they're comfortable with the way that the fight is going, and we go when they expect us to just be defensive. And that's super important. It's super important that you have good timing and that you've already established that rhythm, because if you don't, you're going to have a hard time landing, and this isn't going to work, right? So, like we did right here. Yo, what's good, Eric? How do you fake a punch? Left on the D-pad. Left on the D-pad in any punch button. So you see right there, fake hook, fake hook, fake hook, fake straight. All right, so how we use the rhythm striking is, right? I'm going to throw a jab. He's going to go. I'm interrupting with that right hook. Simple, easy enough, broken rhythm for you guys to understand. So if I throw a straight, I come back, throw a double hook, broken rhythm. Now, why that's important is for things like that. You catch them in vulnerability, you stun them, you kind of start to chip away at that health, and you're able to get a knockdown. That's what broken rhythm is going to allow you to do. And that's why it's so important to utilize and understand rhythm striking, because it can set up opportunities like that, where you hurt your opponent, you get a stun, or if you're using a lower power fighter, what it's going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you to start to build up on points. And that's why high-level strikers, high-level boxers in Undisputed, you're going to see them doing this a lot. They might not get a lot of KOs, they might not get a lot of finishes, but this is why they're able to win consistently to get up on the leaderboards, because they're establishing this broken rhythm, right? Nobody really uses full spectrum of punches. All I really ever see is hooks. Tito, that's true, unfortunately, but you know, that's going to be fixed pretty soon. Indy 500, what's good, bro? Appreciate you. All right, what's good? Crooks, do you swing the buttons or the stick? I use the buttons, bro. I don't use the punch stick. But like I said, using a broken rhythm can really help you out. So right there, you see I go, he's going to go. Bam, crack him with a shot. I go, he goes. Bam, hurt him again. Using a broken rhythm. At its core, that's what it's going to look like. At its core, that's really what it's going to look like. Using a broken rhythm. I go, he goes. I go, he goes. I counter. Bam. Hurt him because he went when it wasn't supposed to be his turn. We get the knockdown. Super, super important, man. It's extremely easy to throw hooks unintentionally if you want to punch using the right sticks compared to the buttons. Yeah, but you know.
1, 2.
You know, it is what it is. That's why I don't use the stick, because it's so
7, 8, 9,
it's so
10, you're out.
it's so tricky, and you have to be like pinpoint on the analog stick, that it kind of can make for a hard time. You end up throwing some strikes that you didn't mean to throw. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah. So, broken rhythm, super important after you've already established the regular rhythm and pace of the fight. And that's how you're going to want to use it. If you're able to implement this and see it in a way that just comes second nature, like I do in a lot of the fights that you guys see me doing, that's why I'm able to win so many fights consistently. Is because, you know what, I come out, I use the same strategy, I take that first round, get a good feel, I establish that pace. There he goes. Establishing the rhythm in the first round. Straighten it. Back up, reset. He's going to go. I'm going to go. He's going to go. I'm going to go. And you see, even the computer's doing it. But once you start to get a good feel for it, then you can start to use broken rhythms earlier in the fight. So if I go, and I see he's going to go, bam, counter it. Right there. Landing 4-piece combinations. And I'm going to be able to stack that damage up early to potentially get my opponent out of there even earlier than I would if I was, you know, I didn't pick up on it quick. So that's what I talk about. That's what I'm talking about. Go in, practice this, not only in practice mode. Go into online quick fight and learn to see this, learn how to implement this very, very quickly in your own game, because the faster you can pick up on this, the faster you can establish this in fights, the quicker you're going to have success. And that's something that I feel like not a lot of people touch on in videos and stuff like that and really go in depth. So that's why we're doing the live tutorial. Yo, what's good, Fresh? How you doing, man? Welcome to the live. Explain relative time. We're not getting into all that. We're not getting into all that. But yeah, so that's how you're gonna want to do it. That's how you're gonna want to set it up in practice mode. Go in, choose your favorite boxer, like I just did right there. I use Sugar Ray Leonard a lot, so I would set it up with him. I would highly recommend you go up against somebody that you're gonna see online a lot, so you can get used to seeing the ranges and stuff. So I would recommend, if you're in welterweight, Sugar Ray Robinson, Terrence Crawford, Canelo. You're going to see some JCCs, but not a lot. But you're going to see relatively these three guys.